Okay, a lot of progress and changes since last time. I've been working so much on this game. So you might see a couple new scripts. So first of all, what I said last time is I wanted to get rid of the jump button. I'll put that in the video. I found some code online to do this. It finds a piece of code in the player movement that you spawn with, I think, and then it just disables the controls. It does work, it's now got rid of the jump button. Let's see. First of all, in construction, the menu's changed around a bit because I've had to add repairs down at the bottom. So basically what this is air bases, land bases and ports like this. They can all repair things. So if you have like a damaged plane that's on like 1 HP and you take it to an airbase, you can repair it and it will heal back up to 2 HP. This is also, you can heal soldiers at cities and supply cities as well. As you can see, I can heal 8 soldiers this round and 3 this sub-round. I can demonstrate that here, I think. This plane here is on 1 HP. If I select it and then go down here, there's a button, repair plane. It's on 1 HP here. Boom. Click it, it's now on 2 HP. Can't repair it again because it's already on 2 HP. And as you saw, the sub-round thing went down. Now, let's try another thing. If I select this tank and then attack this truck, boom, there's some huge text that pops up into the middle of the screen. This is so that you get visual feedback on how your attacks went rather than just like a sound, because the sound could be hard to decipher, especially for me as well. I couldn't really tell the difference between them. So you get that pop up and it looks pretty cool too. If I kill the soldier, I can. Boom. It's got this like text that zooms in and then fades out, which is pretty cool. Okay, another thing, let's see, here. There's railways, these have been here like since the start, but they haven't ever really done anything. But if I show you, current sub-round is 2. So normally a soldier can only move once per round, so if it's sub-round 2, then it's missed its opportunity, or it's already moved in that opportunity. But a rail, let me find this, you get 2 extra bonus railway movements per round, per like equipment. So if a soldier could only move in sub-round 1, now it can move every sub-round up to sub-round 3, so it can move 3 times around if it's going by rail. So if I try and move the soldier, it will actually work because it's on a rail. But if I try to move it here, where this rail is only under construction, it won't work because it can't move further. But I can still move it this way because there's a rail link between these 2 squares. And another thing you might have just seen, so if I go onto this, now on the move menu, there's a new button here. What this does is it just claims the current square you're on. This guy can't do it because he's already moved this up around. Let's like kick out a soldier into the sea. Okay, this square is not owned by anyone, but I can keep the soldier on the square and claim it with this button, and boom, and you heard that new sound for claiming. If I claim this square here, oh I can't because I've attacked the thing. If I claim this square here, you can hear that cool little sound effect. And you might have also seen this. This is towing, so basically I wanted to have it so planes and like machine guns can go onto boats, but inside of a plane and a machine gun you need a driver and maybe missiles and other soldiers too. So instead of coding sub equipment, which would have been extremely hard, I've just added this like towed mechanic where basically, so there's just a boat here with some stuff on it. If I select this machine gun, then the mount button, instead of actually mounting onto it, because this machine gun has a driver which counts as sub-equipment, it's instead just going to tow it onto the boat rather than attach it, because if it attached the machine gun onto the boat inside of sub-equipment, then this driver would just have no way of being like recorded, so it would just disappear. So basically it works the exact same as sub-equipment. You can just select it, dismount it, mount it back on, and this button here shows up if it's towed, and if you click it, it selects what it's towed to. And inside of it, you can see machine gun brackets towed. You can press find, and it will just take you right to it. So that's the new system here. I can show you it in action with this truck and tank here. If I tow the tank onto the truck and move the tank, and move the truck, As you'll see, the tank moved along with it, and it's no longer here. Another thing, planes. So basically I added in functionality for missiles and nuclear bombs. So they've been coded into the game since I made like soldiers and trucks and stuff, but I haven't actually made code for them, so you wouldn't have been able to use them. But now if you look in sub-equipment here, this missile has a drop button, and if I click on drop, it will drop it and explode. So let's see. Soldier killed, but the airbase was missed. So it can kill your own soldiers, so you've got to be careful about where you drop it. And it can destroy buildings and railways too. So that airbase got missed. I've got another missile though. But first I want to dismount this to show, well, that's the little icon for it. But as you can see, it just works like a normal thing. But it just can't move on its own. It has to move by rail or be mounted onto something. It doesn't look like I can mount this back onto the plane. I think the plane's full. No, I don't know why I can't mount that back on. But we do have nuclear bombs now. Let's see, if I drop this, it will destroy everything in like a plus symbol. So it will destroy everything, one square up, one square left, one square down, one square right, and the current square. If I move it, no, I'll just keep it here, right? Brace your ears, it is really loud. All of those things destroyed. You can't even show it on the screen because there's just so many. And it's just caused like absolute destruction. There's nothing left. And the sound's still playing. It's really loud. The only surviving thing within like a 1 square radius is the plane that dropped it because it had time to like escape. So there's now nukes in the game. I mean, they've been there for a while, like I said, but now you can use them. Another thing, boats. Torpedoes are like missiles and nukes, except you don't really drop them. So torpedoes, well, if I dismount it from here and like select it, that's this little icon, it can't really do anything because it's... I take that back. Okay, there's something wrong. But basically it was meant to check if a torpedo is inside of a boat for it to attack, because it needs to be fired from it. But it didn't really do that. Let me change it quickly. Print attacker type ID, sub equipment, print in boat. Let's just try it. Let's see what it says. It said 5, but it did not say sub equipment, meaning it didn't pass this. Print attacker 5. Let's see. Because it might be a string. No, it made it here. So it made it here, but not into here. So there's no way it could have had this. So maybe I just forgot to add the check. Yeah, looks like it. That should work now. Okay, let's see. Okay, boom. So as you can see, torpedo needs to be inside of a boat for it to work. Now it's inside the boat. Boom, destroyed. There is a problem. Things without a HP value are meant to have a value of... Just delete the HP, like, indicator. But on selected equipment, it says, like, 2 out of -1. -1 being no HP value. So I can quickly change that too. Okay, so what I've got is if HP value is greater than 0, then it will just display it. If the HP is 2, then it will still show it. Okay, let's see. If is greater than 0. So this is like the max HP. If the max HP is -1 or 0, then it will just destroy it. Let's test. Yeah, boom. It's destroyed the 2 out of -1 thing. So there we go. That's probably all of the new changes. Now, it seems like quite a lot of changes, but it doesn't seem like it would have taken that long. But trust me, I spent so long debugging this. It's been so tedious. The hardest bit, though, is something I haven't showed you. I can't remember if I said before, but when you destroy like a piece of equipment, I wanted to make it so that the equipment all dismounts. So if I select this tank and attack this truck, I did get that to work in the end, as you can see here. But just for some reason, and this wasn't even a bug with my code, but I spent like 5 hours trying to find the problem with why it wasn't dismounting everything. I had this like dismount all function, and it would just loop through the dismount function with a different sub-equipment to dismount every time. But I don't even know what the problem was with. It would just like, sometimes it would dismount one thing and then break, sometimes it just wouldn't dismount anything and the code down in equipment destroyed wouldn't even finish, and it would just be permanently waiting. And most of the time it would just get to this line, it would fire off this function, but then it just wouldn't do this function and there was no reason. And if I put like a print test here, it just wouldn't print the test even if it fired this function and just waited. So I don't even know what the problem was. It's something to do with Roblox because there's no logical error there. So I had to resort to just creating a server-side script which just handles dismounting everything, and then just like a remote event to call this. So basically what this does is the dismount function, but it has a repeat until loop. So it checks if there's anything to dismount. If there is, it repeats the dismount process until there's nothing left to dismount in the table that I've passed through. Yeah, so that's all the changes to this place. Now, there is another place. I'll show you it later, but for now, I'm going to go through all of the scripts. If you don't care about the code, skip to the time on screen. Okay, so I remember before, you couldn't attack sub-equipment. I haven't coded in attacking sub-equipment yet, but now I've just made it so you can. I basically just copied like the functions for attacking into the drive button script and in the update sub-equipment list so that it displays the attack button. And it's basically identical piece of code to the other script that would handle attacking for equipment. Oh, I finished this. Basically, if the attack conditions aren't met and the defender isn't a driver, then it will check the drop data to see if that piece of sub-equipment needs to be dropped. And if it does, if this value is true, then it will start off the process where basically, so it finds all the squares on the board. If the square is within distance, which is calculated here with the previous function, if it's within distance, it will loop through all the equipment on those squares, add them to the equipment damage table, and it will check if it has a railway or a building ID. If so, it'll add both of those to the table. Then it loops through all the equipment's damage, and it can kill, a missile can kill up to 3 things within range, and a nuke can kill unlimited things. So if equipment's damage, if there is anything in the equipment's damage table, it will just loop through it all, and it will basically just attack it. And it will add all the results to a table here, which is actually a string. It used to be a table. Dot dot equals is like concatenation, so normally you would do print hello, and then you would do like dot dot world, and that just joins them together, so it would just be that. But if you don't want to do, if I wanted to do that for results, I'd have to do results equals to results dot dot soldier killed, etc., which is slow and tedious. Instead, you can just replace this whole middle section with dot dot equals, and this is the same for like any operator. You can do local test equals to 24, test plus equals to 16, and then test would be 40, instead of having to do test equals to test plus 16, which is slow. And backwards n is like a new line, so it will just, I'll show you. When you destroy loads of things, the backwards n makes it go onto a new line for each piece of equipment. Don't even know if you heard me. It does the same for construction, and then it sends off the action feedback event, which makes the text appear, but in the text, it does a string.sub, which does from like the third character in the string all the way to the end, because the first 2 are a new line as well. Instead of having like an if statement for every like results concatenation saying, is this the first thing being attacked, If so, don't put new line. I can't do that because that would just take ages and like 20 if statements. Instead, I can just add a string.sub here, which ignores the first new line, so that it doesn't so it's not like shifted down by one line, if that makes sense, because it would look weird. It deselects any equipment that was selected and got destroyed, and it updates the UI. So that's basically how that works. Let's go on to repairing now. So this is a new button here. When the menu is opened, it will do this update title thing, and if a square is selected, is what this is saying. If the current square's building ID is one of the repair building IDs, so a base or a city, then it will check what to make the button say and it'll make the button visible. But otherwise it will just stay false. Then repair equipment, basically it will check if it can repair and if something's selected, and it will just increase its HP and decrease the amount of repairs left this round. So yes, in generate board, there are a few new values, I think, up here. So we have bonus railway movements per round, which we discussed earlier, is 2. Base repairs per round and sub-round, this is pretty explanatory, and city heals, because soldiers are like different to tanks. You wouldn't want to be able to heal 3 soldiers around, but be able to repair 3 tanks, because it's a bit unbalanced. Soldiers are worth a lot less. We've done attack range, we made that in the last video I think. And down here there's a few new values too. So there's tied to and unique identifier. These are basically reliant on each other. Unique identifier is a UUID that's created specific to each piece of equipment, as you can see here. And these are just really long, like random IDs that if you were to generate another one, it would be extremely unlikely that you would get to the same. So it's basically a unique ID. So what's good about that is you can have a unique identifier for each equipment, and then the tied to value will have a copy of that ID, so it can say it's tied to this specific value, and then you can loop through the square to find that value so you can see what it's tied to. And they're both string values because UUID involves letters, dashes, and numbers. I didn't know how to make a UUID at first. I didn't even know if you could do it. But if you go game.service, HTTP service, then you can call a function. Wait, I'm going to put this in a print after. Then you can call generate GUID. It's called a GUID for some reason. And then you can put false, otherwise it'll put brackets around it. And then if I print this off, it'll just create like a completely random unique ID every single time, and no 2 of these are ever going to be the same. So that's how the towing equipment is tracked. One other problem I face is I think it's still in generate board actually. Down here with square ownership change, which is the remote event when you claim a square. What it does is, before it just changed it to the color of that country, but it didn't check if it was an ocean square. So I had to go up here and take my lerp function thing, so it'll mix in the ocean with the player's color. I think I'm gonna reduce this though, because I think the ocean is too it looks too much like land. Let's see. That's too subtle though. I definitely need to increase that. Maybe 0.2. Yeah, you can tell the difference now. But I think the ocean's still better off just being mainly blue. So as you can see, I own all of these squares down here. These ones are just default. That's basically it. There's probably a lot more I haven't discussed. But now we can go on to the new place I was talking about. Alright, so we've loaded in. And this is just a place is just a game inside of an overall game, if that makes sense. You can teleport between places, but they're in different servers, if that makes sense. So if I join onto this, ignore the bar at the top, but you can't really go back either. This was just a test thing. This is where you're going to be able to edit the map that you want to play on. So when you're hosting a game, you're going to be able to choose all of the things in the board information folder, all of the movement distance, not the movement distances, how much things cost, how many points you start with, and how big the board is. So to generate like a preview of the board that you can like change oceans, squares from ocean to normal, things like that on, what you can do here is set like a width. So if I wanted a 25 by 15 board, and set the height down the side, and if you click update, boom, as you can see, it's generated like a little mini board. And this is good because then I can like drag my mouse over and choose all the squares I want to be ocean, if that makes sense. If I do like a bigger board, like a 72 by 44, this will take longer to generate, but it should still work. So let's see. It generates them in batches, because if you generate too many at once and just keep generating and generating, then the script times out and it lags a lot and crashes. So that's why it freezes every now and then. So as you can see, we have a preview of the map. Now, before I had extreme lag issues with this. If you scrolled around, you would dip down so much in FPS, and sometimes the game would even crash. But I found this article of someone else who had a similar problem, and someone had responded with like a solution. It wasn't completely relevant to mine because they just had like a one-dimensional scrolling frame, and mine scrolls 2D because it's like a map. But I managed to adapt it into 2D, and I did get it to work. So now I can show you it in action. Let's see. So square 1, 1 is in the bottom left, and you can see here on the left in properties it's visible. If I scroll up, it goes invisible, and that's why it doesn't lag. It calculates every square that's off screen, and it just makes them invisible. Now, calculating every square and determining whether it's on screen or off screen would take a lot of processing power every time you scroll. So what it does is it takes the size of each square and the size of like the actual window that the squares are in, which would be the canvas, no, the absolute window size of here, which is just what the squares are visible through. And it finds the number of the square at the top. So I think this is like, so down here this is 110, it's like 117. So it'll calculate that at the top left square has to be 117, and then it will just calculate how far across it goes, how far down it goes, and it will just calculate all the squares in the range. And then it stores these squares, and then the next time it does it, if you move, it will be like, okay, the squares that were there last time, and it will go through them, so like these ones down here, and it will be like, these ones are all outside of the box, and it makes them invisible. So instead of going through every square in the board, it just goes through the ones that were visible last to make them invisible, and it calculates all of the window and makes that visible, if that makes sense. Now, this does have its limitations, like you can't really generate hundreds of thousands of squares because it's just too much and it will lag a lot. But I've tried generating 10,000 before, and it has worked. It takes a long time to generate though. Let's see the timer at the bottom. It will say finish generation. Wait, that only took 7 seconds. There's no way. That actually went way quicker than I expected. But I think there is definitely a bit of lag though. Is there? Is there even? Let me pin my Xbox game bar FPS detector. Yeah, my game is dipping down to like 50 FPS when I scroll a lot. So I am going to put a limit on this at 80 by 45 as the max board thing. But for those who really want to have like a huge board that might destroy their computer, I might make it like a cheap game pass to just bypass the limit if you really want to. If we do 80 by 45, then it'll generate pretty quick. And there's like very little lag. My PC is going down to 110 at the minimum, so it's fine. This is bearable. So that's the new system. Here's the code behind it. So what it does is, when you click one of those update buttons here, it will detect it inside of this code. This code is inside of like it's inside of this little thing. Now this frame is like tiny, but it resizes depending on how many squares there are. So it'll connect to this, it'll detect if the values inside of the text boxes are valid. If you can't convert them to a number successfully, then it'll break. And then it'll cancel generation in case anything else is already generating, and it will generate a new thing. So when you go into generate preview, it clears any frames that might already be generated, and basically it just loops through the X and Y that's provided, and it creates a frame and puts it in the right position depending on the size, which is stated at the top, and the buffer between each one, so that it's not all like mushed together into one big white like square. Just because I'm curious, I'm gonna try 100,000 frames. Let's see. This might be bad.
Oh my PC!
No, yeah, my game's crashed. This happened to me like multiple times yesterday. I'm gonna have to use Task Manager. So you may have seen some hints to this throughout the video, but the open beta is coming out. On the 31st of July, this open beta is gonna be out, and you can actually try the game for yourself. This is going to be a load of fun, and it's been rebranded as well from Premium Risk, which obviously would have been copyrighted by Risk, like the board game, so I couldn't use that. It's now Make Your Move. So be there on the 31st of July, join the demo, and it will be up until the game's release, or until there's a new demo that's come out. So there'll be a custom map for it, and you'll have equipment, and you can try out attacking people's equipment, invading them, like going across railways, everything that's been showcased. So stay tuned.